Welcome back to another segment of the Mommy and Me Experience interview. I am super excited to bring two amazing dynamic gems that are going to be on this interview on today. It's going to be amazing. I have a mom and daughter duo. Yes, and I'm super excited about it because they are bright, they are fun, and I am looking forward to asking them some amazing questions. I know that their story is going to blow your mind because it has already blown my mind, and I'm super excited to share. So if you ladies, you gems are new to my channel, guess what? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn the bell on so that whenever I do more interviews like this, you're going to be the first person to get that notification out. Who am I? Well, ladies, my name is Viola Hall, and I am a creator. I am an inventor, okay? And I am helping moms and daughters to build a dynamic relationship with each other through a godly community that provides tips, strategies, and hands-on building. That's right, we're coming together. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I am going to bring the amazing Miss Jennie and her beautiful daughter on the line, Kaylee, and I'm super excited to bring them on here because they have pure and beautiful hearts. And we're going to have a great conversation. So ladies, if you would go ahead and join me on this amazing platform. I'm super excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, it is my pleasure. Thank you, ladies, so much for being a part of this interview because we are moving, we are shaking, and God is doing something, in this world, in this new year. This is the year of being whole. This is the new year of healing. This is a new year of health and wealth. So I just thank you, ladies, so much for coming on and doing this interview with me. Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Y'all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Well, Miss Jennie, we're going to start with you. Okay. So how was the relationship with you and your mother early on from what you can remember?
So basically, when I was younger, my mom, she had other children. So all she ever did was work and provide, but she never really knew how to have that relationship that a daughter would want from her mother. So I didn't really have that. I lived with my mom, but we didn't have a relationship. And the things that I had to learn, I learned through my friends' moms. Yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting because, a lot of times, when we're growing up and our parents, they only see, one thing, like, I got these children I have to provide for, right? And with that being said, that kind of, leaves there's certain things to be neglected. Right. So tell me, how did you feel in that moment, knowing that you never really had that daughter relationship with your mother, but you saw all of your friends having that type of relationship?
Honestly, that's kind of tough because I think when I was younger, I mainly held all that in and I didn't express it. I would just keep moving, if that makes any sense. And never,
no, that does.
Yeah, I've never expressed anything. It was just like, I just had to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, it's just everything I had to do I just had to adapt to everything. Or this is not working, this is not going the way that I want it to be, I'll find another way, And that's
right.
how it was.
So you kind of had to brush it up under the rug because, you had older siblings. You probably had younger siblings as well.
Yeah, I was the middle. So.
Mm. Oh, and then the middle child. So that just makes it kind of
the middle.
That kind of makes it a little bit more challenging, right? Because it's always that person in the middle that somewhat kind of gets overseen or neglected, right?
Yeah, okay. I guess.
Knowing that and knowing the experiences that you had, have you ever sat down and had a conversation with your mother and kind of told her how you felt about, when you were growing up?
Yeah. So I've actually had that conversation with her. I'm just trying to remember. My daughter's 14. So this had to have been when she was probably like about 3, where I had this conversation the first time, but it was not in a nice way, you know? And I've always held off to not have that conversation because I didn't know if her heart could handle it. I was always worried about her feelings and not hurting her. So I've just learned to, like I said, to adapt, and that's what it is, and just keep it moving. But there's times that we do have that, conversations now where she'll just be like, what? And she's like, don't act surprised. Like, we talked about this. It's okay. Because I'm already at the point where, like, I've already forgiven her a long time ago, Yeah. So it's like, I know I can't go back. And if I want a relationship with her, I have to accept her for how she is, not so much how she is, but I have to accept the things that she's went through and that she's not healed from. And I had to learn that she did the best that she knew how, which was support, not to be emotionally there for you. So, to have that type of understanding, a lot of people can't have that. And I had it. So, I mean, yeah, that's just how it's been.
You said something really key, and that is to forgive. And I think that is crucial when it comes to healing a relationship, any type of relationship, let alone a mom and daughter relationship, because there's just something about a mom and daughter relationship that it's almost like it's sacred. It's like, man, you see your mom, you want to be like your mom. You want to do the things that your mom is doing. You think she's cool. You want to be more like her. But then when you don't have that relationship there, it's like, man, how can I get through to this person? So do you feel like your mom has completely healed, even right now with how old she is? Do you feel like she's completely healed from her past and the things that she's went through?
No, I don't think she's fully healed. I think that there's some things that she still has to let go, and that has to do with whatever trauma she went through in her life. She says that she's healed and she's let stuff go, but she's not. Like, when somebody is, if you bring it up, then they're like attack mode, and then it's just like, hey, if you were healed from that, you wouldn't respond like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then what you said before about wanting to be like your mom, I never had that. I never had that desire to be like her. I've always wanted to be different.
The opposite.
Yeah. And when I was pregnant with my oldest, I promised him while he was in my belly that I would never be like that, and I would be the best mom that I can be. And like, I did the same thing with each of my kids while they were in my stomach. Like, I promised them like that I would love them and care for them and protect them and just be different. So, and I believe that I have. So
absolutely, that's really good. That's good. And I just kind of want to intervene there right quick, and then we're going to get to Kaylee. Okay. I feel like us as women have to almost like pick up the slack from our parents. And it's not in a disrespectful way, but it's in the way that we have to make these promises that we never weren't really meant to make anyways, right? Because we shouldn't have to make any promises, but it's more so of why aren't we as women passing down godly behavior, forgiveness, loving each other? Like, why aren't we passing down these things that, can truly, truly give our children freedom, not just financial freedom, but we're talking about freedom in the spirit, freedom in the soul. We have to, as women, look at our babies and say, you know what, this is the time that I feed you what God has fed me, right? Because God doesn't want us to be hurt. He doesn't want us to be angry. He doesn't want us to live with the things that we're living with, the hurt and the pains, but we're still walking around with these things as women, okay? We're still walking around with these hurts and these pains and these issues, when it comes to our mothers. And it's like, when are we going to break that cycle? When are we going to stand up and say, enough is enough?
Right.
And so I just kind of wanted to interject that right quick, because I hear oftentimes like, no, I don't have a great relationship with my mother. And it's like, why? Like, why? And I know a lot of that healing, it's got to be a dual thing. There's not one person that can mend a relationship, but the other person is not open and receptive, And like you said, if you are healed from something, it would not be coming back up. Your response to that thing coming back up wouldn't be negative. It wouldn't be lashing out. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for sharing and being open and willing, to, share those personal things, because it is tough. Yeah. It is tough to experience that as a child, knowing that, man, this is my mama, she gave birth to me, but she overlooked me, or we didn't have that quality time together. So one last question, how has your relationship with your mother affect you and Kaylee's relationship?
It doesn't affect us in a negative way at all, because I'm not like her. So I just, whatever I wanted, whatever I picture a mom to be, that's who I chose to be, and also, like you said, whatever I learned now, I always pour on her. Since she was little, I've been having conversations with her. I remember when she was like 4, I think you were like 4, where like, I had a picture of lungs, okay? Like a smoking lung, you remember? A smoking lung and a healthy lung, and just speaking to her, not saying, oh, don't ever smoke. Smoking is bad for you. And this, and it's just like, no, I want to show you what lungs are, and then it's like, oh, well, what are lungs? Oh, we need lungs to breathe. And in order for us to live, a healthy life, we need to have clean lungs. And if you smoke, this is how they're going to be, and they're not going to function properly. And it can cause illness and, all that. So and everything, we could, and she hates this, when we watch movies, I literally pause them, or TV shows. I'm like, did you get that? This is a teachable moment. And I'm always like, because I want her to know. I want her to also be able to express herself whenever she wants, and I tell her, like, I mean, I know, I don't even have to ask her. Like, I already know that she trusts me, and she knows that I got her back 100%. Like, it's just different. It's just different. What I can say is that whatever I didn't have, whatever I lacked, I made sure she didn't lack, because I also didn't have my dad growing up, So I never wanted my kids, especially her, to go trying to find love elsewhere, or to, not have a relationship with me and build a relationship with, her friends' moms and things like that. It's like, I'm not going to give you an excuse to go find better, because I'm here,
right.
Yeah, there's, yeah, I
love that. I absolutely love that, because that's one of the things that we have to do as parents is we are their first educators. and if we don't educate them, then who else is? The world, school, their peers, everybody else. So I know that some of these conversations can be very like, ew, gross. I don't want to talk about that. But us as mothers, it's like, no, we gotta talk about this, but we can still make it pleasurable for them so that they're not feeling, a certain kind of way, So I love that you're already doing that, with your children, because it's very key. They're already exposed to so much stuff, social media, school, people in their neighborhood, they're already exposed to so much stuff. So we have to be the ones to say, hey, listen, in your life as you grow up, these are the type of things that are going to happen. And I feel like if we get ahead of them, then our children aren't having to figure it out. Like, oh my God, mom, what do I do? In this, like, what do I do with this? Like, we have to get ahead of those things that are going to be coming for our children before they actually get there, because they'll have a better understanding and they'll have discernment to say, yeah, my mom already told me about that. So this is not something that I want to partake in anyways, love y'all, but peace out. Like, that way we're creating godly thinkers, and it starts now. So thank you, Jennie. Thank you so much. Kaylee, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh, wait, are you? Oh, okay. Did I say it right?
Kaylee, yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. You're all right. You've been really quiet. So I know you probably know a little bit of what your mother has went through with your grandmother. And I'm pretty sure you guys have had conversations about that. So in, just the earlier moments that you can think of, how was your relationship with your mother been since you were growing up?
Our relationship is great. I know that I could like trust her, and I don't have to like expect anything because like she'll always be there. And
I love it. No, that's okay. Like okay, so trust is a big, huge thing in a relationship, right?
Mhm.
So at what moment did you say, you know what? I really do trust my mom. I can literally ask her anything. I can talk to her about anything. At what moment can you remember that you trusted your mom to be able to share those things with?
I feel like I've always trusted her. I never like sat down and just like thought about like, oh, do I trust her? I just like always have.
That's really good, because not all daughters feel that way. Trust me, they don't. And so I think you're very, very blessed, first of all, with a beautiful mother who loves you dearly and cares about you, and of course wants nothing but the best for you. So is there anything that you ever struggled with? Let's say, I mean, you're 14, so, preteens, is there anything that you struggle with maybe that you haven't shared with your mom yet?
Sure. Nothing that I haven't shared with her. Like, no, not really.
Okay, so if it was something that you struggled with at all, like how have you went and talked to your mom about it, and how was your mom receiving of it?
I feel like she would just notice, like if I'm like not doing okay or something. So we'll like talk about it, and she'd be like open to it and just listen.
I love that. Okay, awesome. So what would you say to maybe a young Jim that doesn't have a great relationship with her mom? What type of advice or suggestions would you give to her right now?
I'd say that it takes time. Like you gotta gain the trust that you're looking for, and it will get better.
Yes, that's some wise words. It takes time, yes, right? And then you have to develop the trust, right? Because young girls feel like, oh, well, I didn't make that mistake. I made one mistake and now you're holding it against me for so long, right? But trust does take time. So if you've done something maybe to betray your mother's trust, it takes time to, gain her trust again, for her to be able to say, okay, I see that she's been doing better, or, walking uprightly, whatever the mistakes that have happened, it does take time for that to happen. So was there anything else that you would like to share with any other daughters out there?
Not really.
Not really? Not really? Okay. All right. So here is a bonus question for you ladies. Okay. What is something that you guys do together that is fun as mom and daughter?
Answer.
What? You answer.
It's a question for both of us. You answer first.
Okay. Well, so because I have 3 kids, it's not, I try to separate time between all 3 of my kids. So there's times where if she wants time with me, she'll say, I want to do something with you, and most likely I make it happen, because it's like, I don't want to neglect any of my kids and their feelings to when they want that time with me. I mean, what?
I feel like that's it. We just,
yeah. I mean, she wanted to ride bikes before, just me and her. So we went and we rode bikes. Where did we go? We went far. We went far and came back. Like little things. If she wants her nails done, I'll take her, get her nails done. Like, I don't know. It's whatever.
And we match each other's energy. So like,
I love that.
It's just a vibe. It's just a vibe. Like, it's like she said, like, I can sense when something is wrong. I can sense when, she's feeling some type of way. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that we just vibe, like, but that was since little. So it's like,
right.
It's not, all right. I don't have to work to have her trust, because it's already there. I've already proven to her since she was little. And constant thing all the time, to where, like, because, her dad and I, we're not together, and we haven't been together since she was born. So it's always been me. So I'm that person who is fighting for her, anything, when it comes to school. And I've sued the DOE so many times to make sure that she has everything. Like, she just knows that anything, mom got me. In school, mom has me. Like, it's just like, mom is there. And I let her know, like, that's me, I got you. As long as you're not being disrespectful, and you're always kind, and you treat everybody with respect, because that's something that I'm really big on. I've been talking to her since she was, like I said, like 3, 4 years old, about personal development. It's just like, your character, and it's just.
Hello. That's huge.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a quick question, okay? Not to interrupt you. I want to ask you this. Do you feel like you have to earn children's trust, even the children that you gave birth to?
Yeah, because just because you have kids don't mean they trust you.
Okay. Okay.
And just because you have kids, it doesn't mean that they need to love you. If you're not.
You better say it. Okay.
Because,
I'm sorry.
And that's the thing though too, because you have parents who are always like, oh no, like, like, you gotta love me, like, you gotta respect me, you have to whatever with me. And it's just like, how do you expect your kid to love you, honor you, and respect you when you don't love, and you don't honor, and you don't cherish, and you don't respect your child? Like, I'm not.
Girl, you just opened up a whole can of worms right there. Listen, the Holy Spirit is moving right now, okay?
It's for me, like parenting is way bigger than just the word parenting. It's like, it's so big because I know that I have to build my kids. They're not mine, but they're mine. And while I'm here, they're mine. And I have to build them for, even now, she's 14. She's about to be 15. And I'm telling her, Kaylee, you have 3 years to be 18. We got things to do. Her mind needs to be right. I'm always with affirmations and gratitude. And it's just, people don't take parenting seriously.
No,
It's
at all.
just like, yeah, I'm a parent. No, you're not.
Parenting is so much more than getting your child going and having fun and just doing the mundane things. Get up, get ready for school. I'm going to the gym, or I'm doing this, or, we got this activity. Parenting is way more than that, right? God tells us to raise up a child, right? As they should, the way that they should go, right? And the child will come back. And for me, that means for me is raising them up in the godly way, their character, their mindset, the things that they eat, the way that they dress, the words that come out of their mouths, preparing their minds. Like you just said, like parenting is way more than just disciplining them or just trying to tell them, hey, do this, do that. No, how are you training them and preparing them for the real world? Because if you're not preparing them for the real world, your child is going to resent you when they get older, because they're going to get in the real world and they're going to bump their heads so many times, and they're going to experience so much hurt and pain because mommy and daddy didn't prepare them, or because mommy didn't prepare them, or because daddy didn't prepare them. And so we have to, as parents, especially when you are in a dual household, as mom and dad, you have to train up your children the way you want them to go, and not just in your way, the godly way, because we have to still die to our flesh every single day. So we can't raise our children just by our own ideology. We have to train them up the way that God wants us to go, and the things and the gifts and the talents that God instilled in them, because they're still individual people that God wants them to do something in this earth. And it's up to us as parents to figure that thing out so that we can guide them and lead them in the direction that God is calling them in, not us as parents. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. What else I wanted to say was that, and I really want parents to like tune into this part here. Stop talking about your kids as if you need a break, because there's too many people who are just like, oh man, I can't wait till they go back to school. I can't wait till they do this. I can't wait for my break. I need a break from my kids. And it's just like, what makes you think they don't need a break from you? Because of how you're talking. Have I ever said I need a break from you guys? I don't think so. My kids don't bother me, and people look at me like I'm crazy, and they're like, oh, don't you need a break? Oh my God. A break from what? Like, my kids don't bother me. They're home. They don't bother me. Like, I think our vibe is, I think we're all chill. Like, we have our moments, where she wants to be alone. My son wants to be alone. My youngest daughter wants to have like a little bit of her time, and that's fine. But not to the point where like, I don't want them in the house. Like, you have people who literally send their kids to school, and I'm not knocking anybody, but I think that parents need to start being aware of their actions. Because if you really sit there and you send your kids to school, and then you send them the after school program, and you're not even working. Yeah. Your kid comes home, you just want to, give them a bath, dinner, and go to bed. You're not bonding with your kid at all. But then you need a break. And
there's some underlinings to that. I know that there is. And honestly, there's some type of spiritual underlining that they haven't set right with them yet, you know, and you know, we're not here bashing parents whatsoever, but we are opening up and exposing the lies of the enemy. Okay. We're talking about situations as moms, as parents, as you know, with our daughters, with our children, how we can start breaking these generational cycles. And we have to understand that, you know, everything that you just said, I'm so glad that you said it, because this is what this is about, is for us to come together to have real conversations about this, because this is real. This is really real. These conversations here, we have to have these because parents just don't understand that the words that are coming out of their mouths and the actions that they're doing, because we as parents have to understand that our children are precious gems that God gave us, and he trusts us with our children, and they're innocent babies. And so we have to really take care of our precious babies. And like I said, it's that cycle that has to be broken. Just because mama and daddy did it, don't mean that you got to do it, because what they did was not always right. It was not always right. And they were just doing what they had to do in that moment. Right. You know, maybe they were experiencing something and going through things that they haven't dealt with yet. And this is exactly why this movement is so important, because there are women out there right now that have not healed from that broken relationship with your mother. Mm-hmm. And it's time for you to pick yourself up right now. Either go get help, go get counseling, or talk to somebody that you trust, because you have to get that out, because right now you're literally growing numb to that relationship that you have experienced, and you're not healing from it. And so I want you to understand that it's very crucial. So my question for you is, what type of advice, other than what you have already given us, would you give a mother that maybe is growing numb right now to the hurt and the pain that she experienced from not having a great relationship with her mom? What type of advice would you give her?
Basically, what you focus on expands. So if you sit here and you still are dwelling on the hurt from your past and how you don't have a relationship, and you keep feeding this, you're going to keep feeling the same way. And I don't feel like you do need counseling for this part, because if you want to stop, you can stop. And that's the power that we have. We have power to stop. We have power. God gave us a choice. He's given us a chance and a choice. And it's up to us whether we want to keep moving in that same direction or not. If I no longer want to be a certain way, I have to say, I got to speak to myself differently. You know, if you don't have, this is an example. I've never met my father in person, and I just found him a couple years ago. And one of the things that I said in my affirmations was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have an amazing relationship with my dad and my mom. And I've said it over and over and over. And you know what? One of my cousins from my dad's side found me on Facebook, got in contact with my dad, and, you know, like, we talk on the phone. So it's just like, you can change things. You can change things. God changes things. Like, everything can work in your favor. You just have to look for it. Just like they say, when if it's sunny outside and you have one person that goes outside and they're like, oh my God, it's so hot outside. The sun is just beaming so much. Oh my God, I just need to get in the shade. And then you have the next person to come outside and they're like, oh my God, Lord, thank you. Oh, I needed the sun. Thank you. It's your perceptive of how you view things. Stop viewing things the way that you did in the past. Stop viewing things that hurt you. Start speaking life into things. When you start speaking life into things, you're going to have those fruits. But if you're going to keep speaking negativity, that's what you're going to get. So I encourage everybody to speak life. Speak life. What you focus on expands. You focus on hurt, you're going to still keep feeling hurt. You focus on healing, you're going to be healed. And it's literally that simple. Some people may say it's not that simple. It's literally that simple. It's as simple as you want it to be. It's going to be as hard as you want it to be, but that's your choice.
That is really, 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 really good. And I concur with everything she just said. Appreciate you ladies so much for doing this interview with me. It means the world to me to get this information out to other moms and daughters, just like you guys, you know, who need this information. You know, you guys have a beautiful relationship, and that is amazing, because there is somebody out there who don't have a great relationship and they want it. Right. And they want that relationship. And so we're going to end with this. Okay. With my view on this is, you know, forgive your mother, forgive her. Okay. Love her where she's at right now. Okay. And forgive yourself, right, for not allowing yourself to forgive and just being in this hurt and painful moments. Okay, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to be healed, whole, and healthy. Okay, so I love you guys. Thank you so much. The Mommy and Me community, you guys are absolutely amazing. And I appreciate you guys for showing up and tuning in to this amazing interview. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Jennie. You ladies have a blessed and an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.